This meeting is being recorded.
There it is. All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here and taking the time out of your Wednesday evening to listen to me talk and hear what's going on in my world. Really appreciate your support. So I'll just dive right into what brought me here, and that involves Rachel very much so, and Carrie as well, which you'll hear from after me. So a couple of years ago now, my story with Ruby is she was having some pretty bad night terrors every single night, and we did not know what to do as a family. And we tried everything we could, everything under the sun, from doctors to herbal remedies, like all the things, and nothing helped. We were extremely exhausted, and we are at the end. And I kept hearing Rachel, my dear friend, who had just became part of this beautiful community of regenerative health, and was directly linked with Carrie. And she was telling me all about Purium, this awesome company that she was with. And I was like, you know what? Let me just see what Rachel has to say. So she connected me with Carrie, and they knew exactly what to do, and gave me a protocol to follow for Ruby, with some dietary changes, herbal remedies, and to use the Kid Shake by Purium, which has a huge gut support in it. And within 2 to 3 weeks, Ruby was night terror free. And I couldn't be more happy. I couldn't be more, I don't know. We were just so happy that she was sleeping and we were sleeping. So we followed through. I kept purchasing the shake from Rachel. We kept implementing the dietary changes. It was great. So kept going, moved forward a few months, and I was so pleased with this company that I decided to become a brand partner with Purium, and was under Rachel. And I started with the 30-day ultimate lifestyle transformation, and I wasn't really sure what I was going to expect because I already have a pretty good diet, vegan diet, and I was actually blown away and the changes that I felt within the first week. So that was amazing. And I followed through for the whole 30 days, and I was like, I need to share this with people. So I started telling my family about it because I was so excited. Um, Fast forward some more, I got my dad on it, which was amazing in and of itself because he so badly needed it. And his goal was to get off of Coca-Cola. He was drinking, like, I don't know, 6 to 7 20-ounce colas a day. Lots of lots of sugar. So once he started, he wasn't really quite sure about it. And then halfway through, he was down halfway on his intake of Coca-Cola. And at the end of the month, he was down to 1 20-ounce cola a day. Now he's at one or two. He still continues with his power shakes, still eats tons of fruit, which he wasn't eating before. I owe this all to Purium, really, like introducing these highly alkaline foods into his body, just like changing how he perceives food and craves food. So those two stories in and of itself have been amazing for me and my family. And I've never really done anything with being a brand partner except for introducing it to my dad. So in these last few weeks, I've realized that not being able to touch my clients physically and be in a space energetically with them, um, I still have a way that I can do that. And I've realized that now, and I can still be a resource for my clients, and I can still be a resource for my community in a different way that has always been there. But now I've realized what strength it has since I can't be there with them. Um, and that is through Purium. And either that's helping you with a lifestyle change, or upgrading your supplementation to the highest quality, or maybe it's somebody that you know or work with. I just want to be a resource for everybody out there that I know and care about. And then also the other side of it is generating income. And this could be something that you yourself might need, or somebody else you know might need, as a way to generate like a side income, or a main income if you wanted. But I just wanted you all to join me to let you know what I can be, the resource that I am, and everything that's going on that side of my world outside of massage therapy. So thank you for coming and listening. I'm going to turn it over now to Carrie, who is super inspiring, and I'm so honored that she's here with us this evening. And then Rachel will speak afterwards. Thank you. Here, Carrie.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me here in this space. And yeah, I just appreciate everybody's time. I always say it's like the most invaluable resource, the wild girls. But I'm a regenerative detox specialist and holistic nutritionist, and this is the clinic that I co-operate. And Rachel's actually one of our practitioners here. She graduated from my institute, which is the Institute of Regenerative Health. And just I'll share just a little bit about my journey. So I came from a background of nutrition science, dietetics, and I had a master's in holistic nutrition. And with all of that knowledge, I was still diagnosed with autoimmune disease, which was pretty shell-shocking to me. And so I really learned that I only knew a lot about a little, or a little about a lot, I mean, and I didn't really understand disease at its root cause. And so in attempt to heal my own autoimmune is how I found the world of regenerative health and regenerative detox. Once I reversed everything in my body, I learned everything I could in this field because it became my life's mission to teach people that suffering was optional. I was diagnosed with lupus, Hashimoto, and fibromyalgia, as well as unexplained infertility and adrenal fatigue. So my husband and I kind of figured out I was ill by the process of us trying to have a baby, and we had 5 losses, which was really intense. And so I know so many women go through this, and it's just common, but not normal. Luckily, the work of regenerative detox reversed everything. I learned everything I could about it. And I was like, this is my life's mission. This is what I'm going to do for my practice. And so this is how I started my clinic practice. And it wasn't easy. And it took me years of education, a lot of financial responsibility to acquire all the training I needed. And then it took me like 5 years to build my practice to what it is now. And I share that as a glimpse with you because I think this is like what most of us go through. We go to school, we rack up debt, we get a job, and then we're left like trying to make enough to pay it all back and live a sustainable lifestyle. And then second to that, I want to share that I had really learned that, you know, the root cause of dis-ease or disease is really the lack of environmental health inside the body. And so I really was teaching everybody that, you know, whole organic foods were the answer and herbs were the answer. And I believe that wholeheartedly. And when I was 7 months postpartum with my daughter, so luckily I reversed those things and got pregnant. But when I was 7 months postpartum with my daughter, I started to experience a lot of these common but not normal symptoms. I started to experience like my hair was falling out and my skin elasticity wasn't doing as well. And that was really bothersome, I guess. I was like, I'm teaching everybody regenerative health. Like, what am I missing? I'm eating all organic, I'm juicing, I'm plant-based, and anything I added didn't seem to help. And so that's when I started researching soil health, and I found the work of Dr. Zach Bush. I highly recommend everyone here checks him out. He's an incredible human, a wealth of knowledge. But this is where I really learned about that 1% of the United States soil is actually deemed nutrient dense. And that is something I had no idea. Like, it kind of shocked me. I knew organic was better, but I didn't know how much better. And so I learned that we have this incredibly depleted soil. And even if you're getting organic food, you're still getting fast farmed food that's made with less harsh chemicals. You're getting organic herbicides and organic pesticides. And so I really kind of went down this train of understanding that we have a large soil health problem. If 99% of the United States soil is deemed nutrientless and only 1% is good, what is that 1%? How do we get it? And obviously I went from believing in organic whole foods to realizing that we needed to supplement to fill in the gaps for what we're not getting. So that set me out on a mission to find a solution. So I started researching as many companies as possible, brands. And what I kept finding was things that had magnesium stearate, citric acid, rice flavor, like just all these different additives and things that had whey or soy or rice protein to make things cheaper, or they have more bulk to them, and they weren't in alignment with my regenerative health path. So luckily, to my surprise, I actually was introduced Purium by a colleague of mine, Rita Jean, who went to school with Dr. Morris together, and she was certified in permaculture. And I knew that she was the person that I really trusted in this field. Like, I really trusted her opinion. And she called me up just to see how I was postpartum, and was like, "Hey mama, how are you doing?" And I just opened up. I was like, "Not good. I'm working too much. I have so many patients I can't keep up. My hair is falling out. I'm postpartum. I'm nursing all the time. Like, my husband was bringing my baby up like every 90 minutes to 2 hours to nurse in between patients." And I was thinking it was just postpartum depletion. Like, I'm a busy mom. This is normal. And little did I know it wasn't normal at all. And so I tried Purium as a personal solution. I was like, okay, let me try this thing that everybody swears is so good. And I checked all the ingredients, checked all my boxes. And I was pretty skeptical at first, but I just gave it a whirl. I was like, okay, I'm going to try it. And like day 3, it was like the lights came on in my body. And I felt completely different. I didn't change personally. I didn't change my diet at all. I was a nursing mom, so I wasn't detoxing. And I just added this in, and I was like, whoa, like I wasn't shaky. I wasn't craving food. I wasn't, like everything just started to feel like my alertness was there. My energy was there. My poop was better. My sleep was better, like all the things. And I was like, all right, there's something about this. And so I just kind of started sharing little by little. Like, people started asking me, like, what's different about you? Like, your skin is looking great. Not that, and they would like be like, not that it didn't before, but, and so I just added this in. And so it really kind of caught fire. But what I want to share about why Purium, because there are a million supplement lines out there, and it's very hard to cipher through all of the garbage, right? And to know what is real. Everybody's got a different opinion on health. And what I will tell you is that regenerative health is not only getting to the root, but regenerative farming is the only way to grow food in the most nutritious way. And so this is what Purium is doing. So Purium is owned by 2 people, Dave and Amy. And Dave is trained by naturopath Ann Rigmore, as well as Dr. Bernard Jensen, who's like the founder of iridology and all this cool stuff that is really popular in Germany. And this field is really rare. This business model is really rare, to have an owner that's educated in this field and compassionate about the true mission of this field. And so Dave actually realized that there was over toxicity and undernourishment like 28 years ago. And that's how old Purium is 28 years. So 28 years ago, they started with wheatgrass juice shots, and with barley grass juice and kamut powder, I think was their juice shots. And they were not all that great. They were very healing. And over time, they started to grow and grow and grow, but they were the founders of the USDA organic label. So they started basically hiring farms to farm in regenerative agriculture practices, which means that they are using spring water in the soil. They're using only organic, non-GMO, kosher heirloom seeds. They are basically doing proper crop rotation. Instead of replanting the same crop in the same soil, they're letting that soil regenerate, and it's crop rotation, which is very, very important to the health of the plant. And they use green manure for compost. And the last most important thing they do is they actually don't pick anything until it's vine ripened. So the moment that it's ripe on the vine is when it gets picked. And the reason they can do that is because it's being dried in the wind on site. So they're not actually transferring it to a packaging facility to be heated, to be dried, to be packaged. They're slow wind dehydrating on site, and then they're picked up by Purium trucks and tested for purity and potency, and then ground from farm to biodegradable bag. So it's incredibly different nutrition. Most companies are fast farming. They're not coming from healthy soil. If it says organic, we're not sure how organic. Organic and organic and tested is very, very different. And we are organic and tested, and then also regeneratively grown, and then also a completely plastic-free company, which is just phenomenal. And one thing I just want to share is that even if you're eating organic, which I was, and you're eating from the co-op, which I was like, this is the best thing. I'm shopping local, I'm shopping from a co-op. I learned that even the co-ops, they have to pick their food unripe in order to make it to the back of the warehouse truck, to make it to the back of the warehouse in the store, to the front of the store, to your fridge, and to your table. So there's a 2+ week process of picking unripe food. And the moment that is picked from the vine, it's actually not continuing to ripen. It's actually just fermenting. And so it's like cutting the umbilical cord with mom. That's the moment that the nutrition stops and there needs to be an external source for baby. Well, plants don't have that option. So basically what you're getting by Purium supporting you is the healthiest level of micronutrients you can find, and all of your essential amino acids, which help you rebuild bone, hair, skin, and connective tissue. I want to share one last thing on why that's so important. I know this is a lot of information, so I'll try to keep it very digestible, but there's a second thing that really pulled me into partnering with this company, and that was glyphosate solution. So glyphosate is a neurotoxic chemical that not a lot of us know about, talk about. It's just not common knowledge, sadly, but it's your friendly Roundup. And that is what is deemed safe and legal by the United States government to spray on our food crops. It's banned in over 33 countries, and it's continuing to be banned worldwide, but America hasn't caught on yet. So the reason they deem this safe and legal, it actually is a chemical fertilizer that was turned from Agent Orange that was left over from the war. And it was the start of what was called the Green Revolution. And the Green Revolution was like, hey, spray this on your crops and you won't have to worry about weeds and all that. So not like what you think. We think Green Revolution sounds great, but it was actually the opposite. And that started in the 1980s. And since the 1980s, we've seen the largest explosion of disease in human history. Glyphosate is estimated to be in 75% of our air, food, and water systems. You can't wash it off. You can't take it off. I used to think, oh, wash your fruits and veggies really good. You'll be good. But it's not, it's a water soluble molecule. And so Purium actually is the only company on the market that has a glyphosate solution. They're third-party tested and certified to remove 75% of glyphosate in 6 weeks. That's their product, the Biomedic. And so when I learned that, I'm like, wait a minute, you have a solution to glyphosate? As a practitioner, that was my yes, in bringing this into my practice. And so my personal journey was going from very depleted, still dealing with symptoms of celiac, to reversing all of my celiac, growing my hair back, getting my energy back, and just feeling so much better in my body. So that's kind of what I wanted to share with you about the product source. So they're grown in regenerative soils. They're all organic. They're wind dried. They're vine ripened. And then they're also grown like 128 miles away from any other industrialization. So there's like not air pollution happening. So there's a lot going into these plants and of the right things. And then the last part I want to mention is like really the mission of the company. And the company is like this, just the biggest heart-centered people I know. I'm actually going out to the owner's land in a week here to go hang with his family and just view about a retreat we're going to be having. So their overarching mission is to get rid of human suffering, which sounds crazy. And Dave says, like, we are overly toxic and undernourished, and we want to get rid of food deserts. We want to help people out of depletion. And they also want to help be contributing to planetary health. And then their third pillar is financial wellness, because let's be real, finances can make people literally sick. The level of stress that can happen, like what you're explaining, Emily, is all of a sudden the rug was pulled from underneath you, right? And so this company realized they've been in business 28 years, like I mentioned. 7 years ago, they had like a light bulb moment, like, wait a minute, why are we on Amazon and in grocery stores making the billionaires more wealthy? And these are the people that are actually contributing to poisoning our air, food, and water systems. And they decided to remove all their products off that platform, get rid of their marketing department, and put the money back into the hands of the people like average moms like me, Emily, Rachel, and just anybody that wants to build another side income. So the way that they save money is not having marketing and not paying Amazon and not cutting their costs to go on those platforms. And so they've reallocated that money into us. And so we are their marketing department. And it is the best thing I've ever chosen for my life, my family. And it's been a ripple effect of helping instead of one patient at a time. In an average week, if I was fully stacked, I would help 40 people and be just wiped, like exhausted, lay on the floor, tired. And I was like, I only helped like 20 people this week and I'm exhausted, or 40 people and I'm exhausted. And so what this platform has done is allow us to grow our network and help hundreds of people, because I brought on Rachel brought on her friends, Rachel brought on Emily brought on her family. And so we just continue to build this network, and we get paid for supporting people to thrive in their bodies. And so we have our pillars of personal health, planetary wellness, and financial well-being. And so that's what we're all about. And so I'm going to pass it to Rachel. I actually have we had a little bit of a crossover. I have another partner I'm heading over to support. But I just want to say that this was so life-changing, not only in my physical health, but I remember back to the moment that I made this decision, and my family was not doing well financially. I actually put this kid on a credit card when I bought it. And I've been in the company 3 years exactly. And in 3 years, I went from struggling entrepreneur to 4Xing my full-time income. I sometimes feel bad saying that out loud. It's like crazy to see what has happened. It's like I literally 4X'd my full-time income. And so we live half time in Mexico now. We don't fight about my husband buying $20 Costco jeans. That was a regular argument. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, we can't afford that. Stop doing that. Now we do what we want, we travel when we want, and we just have so much more ease in our lives. Financially speaking, it's been such a blessing, and I get to have my baby on my hip while I'm at the beach taking a connect call. So if you're looking for like, okay, I need to feel better with my body, this is the right place to be. And if you're also thinking, gosh, it would be nice to have some location freedom and build either side income or full-time income, connect in with Emily, because we are a super powerful community that's very, very supportive. And Rachel can talk to you about all the support we have built in our website, and just a little bit about her journey as a nursing mom. When she met me, we actually met in a mama's group, a postpartum. We met in a pandemic moms group or something, like moms that had babies in the pandemic, and like we had this weird isolated pregnancy experience, and we like bonded over this, and now here Rachel is, and it's totally changed her life. So thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you all. I wish I could hang until the end, but I do have to pop over to another call, and I will be here for support for anybody that has more questions.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carrie.
Thank you.
So great to hear from you. Thank you, Emily, for sharing your heart. Hi, everybody. My name is Rachel. I've been friends with Emily for a really long time, so it's just an honor to just be able to work with her in this way. And like Carrie said, I met her in a mama mastermind. And when I first heard of all this, I was like, oh yeah, like I eat really good. I eat all organic, but she was saying things like soil health and glyphosate. And I was like, I feel like I just had this like heart knowing that that was something that I should look into, that maybe I could help people with. And that was really it. I was like, my husband's really tired. I feel like he should do something. He works a lot and I feel pretty good, but I was 5 months postpartum. And I actually remember because Carrie was like, okay, you feel good, cool. And then, but I was like, I need to like, this is like the answer, because I'm not going to tell my whole story because we don't have time, but both of my businesses were like shut down during the pandemic, and I was pregnant with my son and my childcare closed. Anyway, so I'm at home and I'm like, I really have a heart to help people. I really want to help people with their health. And this seems like a missing link that I was looking for and I just didn't know about. But I decided, obviously, I'm going to try this for myself. And within 3 days, I was like, oh my goodness, I did not know that I was I mean, I knew I was depleted because I was a nursing mom, but I just thought that was normal, right? Like I was like, oh, it's just like, they say you have pregnancy brain, and then they say you have mom brain, and then they say you have menopause brain. And it's like, when does this go away, right? Like we should have, like, we're young, we should have more vibrancy. And I can't even, it's hard to even explain like how much like how much clearer things were just in the short amount of time. And so I, the same way, I just started sharing with everyone I knew, because I was like, if our soil is unhealthy for most of our food that we're getting, we do need another way to fuel ourselves. And the supplements that are grown in a lab are really hard on our bodies. They're hard on our livers. You can't just grow like calcium in a lab and then expect your body to absorb it, because our body doesn't recognize that as food. It has to come from soil that's really, really healthy. So that was a huge, I mean, it's like, I knew that, but I didn't totally know until I started. And so it's just been the biggest blessing to work with people that are on the similar mission and want to help people, and that are doing it in a way that's aligned with our planetary health and our all of the things. And so we're really excited because our team always runs a fall reset that starts on September 6th. So it's like, get everybody in school, have your last summer barbecue or fairs, or do whatever you want to do, and then start a fall reset. And that will really set you up for, before the holidays and that kind of thing. So our next reset is happening, like I said, on September 6th. And then I'm offering a special for Emily's community. So I was trained with Carrie to be a regenerative health specialist. And so I'm offering, if people are like, okay, I want to do this, but like, what would be the best kit for me? Or what would be like, I'm working on fatigue, or I'm working on bloating, or any other digestive health, or maybe I have autoimmune, or maybe I've got, maybe I'm a nursing mom, like what should I do? And so that is my offer, is a 20-minute free consult with me to figure out exactly what would be perfect for you. So we can just connect in, like just text Emily about it, and she'll get you, we'll get connected in the next couple of days. It does take, a little bit of time for the kit to come. So we like to just prepare you, and then also teach you like how to prep for it. Like, what are some things that you can do so that when you start integrating this stuff, it's just like a seamless transition, and you can just get into a really great routine with your health, just to be the best, most vibrant version of yourself. And we, like Carrie was saying, we also host 2 support calls a week that are free with your transformation when you come on with us, because we realize that it's not always easy to make life changes. And if you have questions during it, we want to be available to you. So those are optional, but totally free. And we have an app with a ton of support. The no lack of support is what I'm trying to get across here. And that's true too with us in our community. So if you're somebody who has a network of people, or a community or clientele that you're like, this is a way I could really support them on this other way, right? Like Emily, who does massage, like you're working on the outside of the body, you're really helping their body start to detox. But really, if they're still putting crap in their body, it's like, how long is that going to happen, right? And so let's hit it with all the different angles. We'd love to be in community with you if this aligns, or if you just know somebody that you're like, oh, that could be a really perfect fit for them. This person's always talking about health and about how they wish pesticides weren't like sprayed everywhere, or they just are feeling like they need another way to help themselves or their family. Then like Emily was saying, she's your resource, and she's such a beautiful heart and a beautiful soul. And I know everyone watching that agrees, because we just know how much you care, and we really appreciate that. You're such a light. And yeah, that's all from me. So thank you all for being here, and we'll close out soon. And I look forward to working with you.
Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, thank you, thank you.